Welcome guys. Welcome to Daily Crypto Trading. Today we're going to do a TA of Mina Protocol. Mina token had an amazing run in this bull run, even though they were a bit late to this bull run. However guys, have we bottomed out or are we going to go lower because of this correlation between Bitcoin and these altcoins? Well, let's look at it in a technical point of view and analyze. Before we dive into it guys, a big shout out to GYS and Andy UN12 MVP, I believe his name is, for winning these two giveaways guys. You guys are also welcome to join our Discord server. The link will be provided down below. It's free and I will still do these kind of giveaways. I've been a big supporter of Mina token. I was actually going to buy it in the pre-sale last year, but I was number 300,000 or something like that. I was going to get it at an amazing price, but unfortunately there was too much demand, which is of course a great thing. However, because of this downfall of Bitcoin or the correction, and with the traditional market, of course, it will drag the altcoins down. And the question are we bottoming out, right? I don't think we are in a technical point of view. And guys, just give me a few minutes to explain why, but this will also give you a great buying opportunity in my mind, because I am awaiting these kind of levels. I've been waiting almost a year patiently just to see these levels so I can go and buy Mina token. The reason I don't believe we bottom out yet, look, I don't have a crystal ball, maybe we have, I just don't think so, but it's because of this structure. 5-3-5 structure is literally taken out from the textbook. We have a 5-wave down, we have a 3-wave up, the zigzag ABC wave up, and now we're going to have the 5-wave down, alright? And if you look at the FIB levels, the FIB levels are saying that we can easily go down to the FIB level 1.618, which is the price level of 0.371. Now you're probably going to panic and say, no, we're not going to this level. I don't hope so. We might not, but in the technical point of view, the charts are telling us without any emotion that we are going to these price levels. For me, I will buy heavily in these price levels, and I was buying at the top. I most likely would just DC my way down, but this is a great buying opportunity in my opinion. FYI, no financial advice guys, always do your own due diligence before you ever invest in anything, or you might get yourself wrecked, because I am not your or anyone's financial advisor. A big shout out to today's sponsor, MEXC Global Exchange. They're a top 20 exchange with billion of volume and thousands of tokens. You can make an account all for free with no KYC, know your customer, and trade up to 10 Bitcoins. You also get a 10 BTC airdrop and $500 giveaway from MEXC Global by using my link provided down below guys. And to back up this tier, this thesis, we are also seeing right here that we might, in the chart, we are around this area, that we might go to the B level, right? We might see some kind like this, A, B, C, all right? Which means we will probably have the B level at the golden ratio, which is around price level at $1.7, all right? So we can have some good gains in the short term, but in the long term, we will have to go down to test these support areas where there's a lot of liquidity ready to hold this support. This also, if we just do something like this also confirm it with the low RSI, because we are heavily oversold. Usually when we are this heavily oversold, we need to have some kind of bounce back, right? But just remember, the golden ratio is right over here, which means if we do not go above that and make a higher high and get rejected here, my thesis and TA will be pretty spot on, because then we will get rejected and go back down and test these levels again. We can also see in the RSI that we have been oversold. Now we're getting back up, right? Which means we are getting back up to the overbought area, which means if we go and get some volume to hit the resistance level at the golden ratio area, the oversold area is going to get aligned with the FIB level, which will be perfect and spot on, which means we will get some rejection. Remember, this is probability, no guarantee. It can just go up to the moon. I don't believe it, but because the probability is low, this is just math. Alright guys, so the probability so far are saying we might get some bounce back to the upside in the short term and make some FOMO, but we're definitely going to the downside. That is what the chart are telling me at the moment, unless Bitcoin do a 180 and completely reversal and just goes to the moon, then most of these altcoins will afterwards rally with Bitcoin. I don't see that highly. That's in my opinion just unlikely to happen in this stage. And guys, if we stay in the daily yet and look at the SMA, the red, green and white and yellow, there's the 21, 30, 50 and 200 SMA. We can see we are below that TA101. When we are below the SMA, that's a typical downtrend. All right, really important to understand. Doesn't mean that we can't break it or test it, because this is why I'm saying that at the moment the SMA is going down, so we might flat out and test the resistance area. But there will be big resistance, because if you again, this is perfectly aligned, if you again look at the VPVR, we are seeing heavy resistance right here, the golden ratio, golden pocket. All right, important to understand. There will be a lot. This just means there will be a lot of sellers ready to sell the supply. So when the supply is greater than demand, we typically see a rejection. So be aware of that. We might see some kind of FOMO before we see the downtrend, or we can just, continue to go down. A fast look at the weekly chart, we can see this huge ABC taken from the textbook, guys. So this ABC is correct, is happening at the moment. It doesn't mean that it's just a straight line down, right? It most likely goes something like this, right? Something like this, all right? A 5-wave down, most likely. So what we need to have before we want any momentum, just to give this bull some hope, to give you guys some hopium. Apparently some of you always want hopium, is that we need to look at the volume and the weekly. The volume is not great, all right? The volume actually not even above average, which means there will be a lot of sell volume ready. I believe we will see some short-term gains, like I said before, but most likely there'll be a lot of sellers ready to sell their token. And once Bitcoin correct itself and do crash down, right, like we saw in 2018, if you've not been there, it was a ugly crash. All of these altcoins, if not most, will drop 60 to 70%. I know that this drop doesn't look that bad if you look at the fib level, right, 1.618. But if we take a 2 right there and say the drop from here to around this area, yeah, that's almost a 60% drop. All right, so it's still an ugly percent. It can still go down. All right, so these price levels. Now I hope they go down. For my own sake, I might be greedy now, but that's because I can buy at these price levels. I would definitely be buying at this fib level. It's for sure, because I believe that is way too undervalued of such a great project. In my opinion, I might be wrong. Always do your own due diligence, guys. Also, in my humble opinion, if you look at the market cap, or just look at the fundamentals also, the market cap is not that high for this coin. Now, this coin have 509 million in circulating supplies, not a lot, but just remember, they have 2 billion supply, and inflation rate, I believe, was 8 or 12%, which is pretty high for this token, all right? And there's a lot of people who bought at the pre-sale who have a lockdown, especially the VCs and so on. They will also sell most likely, because they bought for almost nothing. So when more tokens are getting into the circulating supplies, the Mina token will be devaluating and decreasing price by time, all right? However, does not mean that is end of the world, all right? So I have big faith in the team, and I have done my research. I believe Mina token deserves to have more exposure to this market. It doesn't have enough. So in the fundamentals point of view, I believe in time it will decrease. We might see some swings, like I said before, in my TA, see a pump before we see a dump. But I believe in the long run, this will do amazing. So I will buy at lower price myself. But guys, always do your own due diligence. And as I mentioned, guys, if Bitcoin drops, all the altcoins will drop with Bitcoin, all right? It heavily correlates with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is heavily correlated with the tech stock and S&P 500, which are not doing well at the moment. If we take a look at the market cap dominance of Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoin, and stablecoins, we can see at the moment that Bitcoin dominance have a parabolic move to the upside. Now, if you do not know what that means, it just means that Bitcoin is outperforming in percent the altcoins. So this chart is extremely important, because when Bitcoin's dominance goes like this, altcoins, as you see, will go like this. All right, it will decrease value. And it will just mean that Bitcoin is outperforming in percent. Doesn't mean that Bitcoin is doing well, right, at the chart, but just mean that outperforming altcoins, which basically means the altcoins will be converting to Bitcoin and so on. So it's important that you guys understand it is a simple tool, but amazing tool to understand. Now, something else, guys, which is the last thing in my Discord, you guys can also join for free. I have a fear and greed set up. If you look at the fear and greed index, we are in extreme fear, guys. Remember, we buy fear, we sell greed. But remember, fear in a bear market can also lower the price, right? Because there's so much fear at the moment and uncertainty. Now, I will not buy at these levels yet, because if there's a crash going on, I'm not going to be uncertain and gamble my money. I'd rather rely on the TA and the fundamental. But just be aware, at the moment, a lot of people are fearful. If you're still here, I assume you enjoyed this content of the TF Mina token. If you did, guys, in the left corner there'll be recommending video. I recommend you to watch the next recommending video. And guys, as always, see you in the Discord server.